The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered 12. Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
What's up, Brigade? How are you? Welcome into a Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. We are live on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book. That's the same on Twitter and X. My name is Matt Perrault. You guys can follow my own personal socials at Sports Talk Matt. That's where we're on for Instagram today. So we're on 3 different platforms. At Sports Talk Matt is my Instagram handle. It's really my handle for everything. But if you want to go watch on Instagram, you can watch over there on Instagram. And I'll do my best. I know a bunch of you guys over there have been posting comments. The chat's been not lively, but it's been not bad. It's been pretty interesting to see how many people are over there chit-chatting with us on Instagram. So I'll try to poke over there from time to time. But again, it's little old me trying to do everything here. So I apologize if I don't get over there as much as I probably should. Our live chat, our OG Brigade chat, which takes place on YouTube, always there, always fired up. And out of the gate, super chat Mikey. What's up, my friend? Say something nice about ODU. You got Vatek's coach fired. How about that? That's what you guys did, Mikey. Want something nice about Old Dominion? You got an in-state guy fired because you guys whipped up on Vatek so badly. So, it was a good game. I mean, that's why I bet on Vandy to beat South Carolina, because South Carolina did not beat Vatek as badly, as easily as Vandy did. So you had a common opponent. And then what did Vandy do? Now, obviously, Lenora Sellers getting hurt had a lot to do with that, but pretty impressive. Nice W. Pretty good win there. So coming up on the show today, we'll take a look at Major League Baseball. We will look at the pennant races. We clearly will talk a lot about both games last night, but in the opening line, I want to focus on one player. I want to focus on one person. And that one person being Baker Mayfield, and how the story of Baker Mayfield is not told the way that it should be told. It is the opening line for us here on a Tuesday, September the 16th, and the opening lines being presented by Huel. That is Human Fuel, Huel. If you guys weren't with us yesterday, that's a new sponsor for us here. Huel is able to be found by going to www.huel.com/BVB. You will get 15% off all orders with the code BVB from Huel. Now, what is Huel? It is a meal. Not a shake, it's a meal. It's meal replacement. We're talking about 40 grams of protein per meal. We're talking about numerous vitamins, minerals. It is vegan. It is gluten-free. It is animal-free from testing. It is packaged with the environment in mind. This is something I found in Scotland, and I went and reached out to these people, and I said, what are you guys doing in America? And they said, funnily enough, we're looking to expand. We want people to try it. We want to get our product into the hands of people who are looking for different ways to fuel themselves on the go. Try Huel, 15% off today. New customers, go to Huel, HUEL.com/BVB. If you're looking for good food fast, good food on the road, check out Huel, human fuel for you. I've tried almost every single flavor, and I haven't found one that I don't like yet. I like them all. Vanilla is really good. I'm kind of an old school guy when it comes to shakes. I like vanilla. I like making my own shakes as well. You can buy the prepackaged stuff, but you also can get the stuff that's available in the water, in the shakes. Big fan of these guys. And it's funny because I just happened to find them in Scotland in another Scotland connection, but I reached out to them and said, hey, I do this show in America. And they said, that's funny. We want to market more into America. Let's do something together. So check them out, Huel.com/BVB. Let's talk about Baker Mayfield. Let's talk about the guy, the story of Baker Mayfield. Because again, last night, Baker Mayfield did something special on a football field. Do you guys know? I mean, like, do you really know the story of Baker Mayfield? Because I don't think enough people in the country really appreciate what this guy is. I think because of all the ads he did in Cleveland and because he was so in everyone's face, he was such a marketable guy. And the companies loved to push him and oversaturate the market with Baker Mayfield advertisements that I think a lot of people like under the age of 30 are just like, man, Baker Mayfield, get out of here. Did you guys know that Baker Mayfield was a walk-on at Texas Tech? He was a walk-on who transferred to Oklahoma, who then went and won the Heisman Trophy. He's the only true freshman walk-on starter in the history of FBS football. He walked on at Texas Tech and started game number 1. The guy won the job. He then transferred out, didn't pan out at Texas Tech, and wound up going to Oklahoma, where all he did at Oklahoma was go and win the Heisman Trophy. He went and won the Heisman Trophy. That's a 2013 picture, by the way, of Baker Mayfield. That's how long this guy has been involved in sports and been bouncing around and trying to find a home and trying to find a place where he can hang on out. Now look at Robert Redford passed away today, 89 years of age. Sure, he's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and sure, All the President's Men, incredible movies, but as sports fans, what do we know this guy for? We know Robert Redford for The Natural. And while Baker Mayfield, it's not the identical story when it comes to The Natural, there is some real interesting parallels with the character of Roy Hobbs and what Baker Mayfield has been trying to do. Because it's just wherever he has gone, it's like bad luck has followed. Whatever situation he is in, it's just gotten negative. I mean, number 1 draft pick, Browns fans are going crazy. It didn't work. He goes to the Panthers. Panther fans are excited. They cut him. He goes to the Rams. They're in love with the Rams. The Rams let him go. He winds up going to the Buccaneers. This guy just has bounced around. He's incredibly talented. All he has done is win. Everywhere he's gone, he's won. He won at Texas Tech. He won at Oklahoma. He won the Heisman. He went to the Cleveland Browns as the number 1 overall pick in 2018. He led the Browns to their first ever playoff win in 18 years, only to be kicked out. See you later, Rams. I mean, the Panthers were like, goodbye. We have a glut at a quarterback situation. We got to go and let you go. The Rams picked him up. He played in a game 36 hours after joining the Rams, and he won. He led them to a victory in a football game in the NFL. He did not know the playbook. Baker Mayfield did not know the playbook for the team he was playing for, the LA Rams, and all he did was win the game. It's incredible. The guy just can't find a home. He can't find a place where he wants to just stick. Now, is that Baker's fault? Yeah, partially. Of course it's partially Baker Mayfield's fault. How could it not be? I mean, how could it not be? He's part of the story, just like The Natural in Roy Hobbs. He gets shot. It was part of his fault. Shouldn't have been doing what he was doing. Strange hotel room with some strange nutcase woman who shot him. I'm not saying Baker Mayfield's going to get shot, but he's partially to blame for his own story as to what has happened to him and why he's been cut and why he's been a journeyman over and over and over again. This is a damn movie. Like, when you stop and think about the Baker Mayfield story, this is a movie. Again, reiterate, he walks on at Texas Tech. He's the first ever player to start game 1 as a walk-on at the FBS level. No one's ever done that. He then leaves Texas Tech and goes to Oklahoma, where he goes 39-9 in his college career, and he wins the Heisman Trophy. No one's ever done that. No walk-ons ever won the Heisman. Heisman trophies are won by the best of the best, the blue blood of the blue blood. These guys who have been groomed since early high school. You know, they're 4-star, 5-star recruits. Not guys that are undersized, not guys whose arm strength gets questioned. He's not that fast. Troy Aikman said it last night on the broadcast. Baker Mayfield's not that fast. He's not overly athletic. He's not some like specimen that you look at him, you're like, damn, look at that. Look at that quarterback. He's not big and tall and rangy. He's not Tom Brady, 6'5", big arm quarterback. It's not what Baker Mayfield is. He's a runt who just squeezes every single thing out of his body. Every talent drop he utilizes to play the position. And all he does 2 weeks in a row, come from behind, game-winning touchdown drives in the fourth quarter for Baker Mayfield and the Bucs. It's all the guy does. He just wins. Like, Baker hasn't won at the highest levels yet. But that might be changing this year with this Buccaneers team, with what this team looks like, because they've had Mike Evans for a long time. But Ibuka coming over from Ohio State, okay. I mean, I'm really impressed with Bucky Irving. I'm really impressed with the way that guy is running right now behind an offensive line that is not going to, it's going to get better when Wirfs comes back. Their best player, Tristan Wirfs, arguably is their best player. He has not played a snap yet this season. And the Bucs are 2-0 with 2 true road game victories, winning at Atlanta in the division and then winning last night at Houston. Both in impressive fashion, both in just incredible fashion. In love with this story. I'm in love with Baker Mayfield. I'm in love with the Bucs. Now, granted, my money and my emotions tend to get mixed together. So, like, I'm in love with the Milwaukee Brewers. Why? Well, I have a 27-1 ticket on the Brewers to win the World Series. So I'm all in on the Brewers. My biggest bet preseason was on the Bucs at plus 110 to win the division, to win the NFC South. So obviously I'm watching Buck games very closely, more closely than I have previously, because I need them to win the division, obviously. But as you do the research and you start digging down on Tampa and what this team is like, there is some real value on Tampa Bay to win the Super Bowl. Look at how far down they are in the odds. This is FanDuel. They're 22-1. They're 22-1. The Commanders have the same odds. The 49ers, they don't have their quarterback. They're currently being quarterbacked by Mac Jones. And they have shorter odds than the Bucs do. I mean, the Lions they're 1-1, and they're without both of their coordinators from last year, and they're 17-1. The Chiefs are 0-2, and they're 12-1, but the Bucs, who are 2-0, are 22-1 to win the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay, there are some real value on the Tampa Bay Bucs to win the Super Bowl, and if they ever do it, it will be because of the one. I mean, the second. Brady did it first, obviously, but their second championship. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan on Baker Mayfield. I'm a big fan of the way he plays. And again, I think there's a whole generation of people that dislike Baker Mayfield simply because of the advertisements in Cleveland. And it did get ridiculous. I'll give you that. It did. It was over the top. He was everywhere. He was on every commercial break, like literally on every game. And people were like, we're so tired of Baker Mayfield. Go away, Baker Mayfield. And then Baker Mayfield disappeared. And Baker Mayfield couldn't find a home. The former number one. Hi, Baker Mayfield. I didn't know Baker Mayfield was here. Hi, Baker Mayfield. Good to see you. That's pretty fun. Unreal. 22-1 to win it all. I have bought tickets on dumber things than to back Baker Mayfield and the Bucs to win the Super Bowl. They can win the NFC. Their defense is going to get better As the year goes on, I'm going to trust Todd Bowles to fix the defense because they got to fix the defense at some point. But the offense is what I think could take them. They have a Hall of Fame receiver in Mike Evans. Ibuka is a very talented young weapon. They have 2 very good tight ends. They have a running back in Irving, and their offensive line is getting big. No, Anthony, that is not the real Baker Mayfield. One, because the guy's avatar is a Rams avatar, and there's no way that the real Baker Mayfield would ever have a Rams avatar, given that he's played for the Bucs for a couple of years. He just found his way to Tampa, by the way. It wasn't like the Bucs, they wanted him, but it wasn't like they made some like massive move to go and get him. It's unbelievable. Joseph Myers, I'd rather have a ticket on some 10-leg Hail Mary parlay. Why? You don't see the path? You should see the path. The path is there. You can hate on Baker Mayfield all you want, but the path is there. They're 2-0. The division is made up of 2 teams. That's it. Panthers, goodbye. Saints, goodbye. All right? 2 teams. Saints aren't going to be relative for a long time. Panthers might turn around at some point, but the Saints are gone for a while. It comes down to the Falcons, and it comes down to the Bucs. And the Bucs currently have a 1-game lead and a head-to-head, really a 1.5-game lead on the Falcons. We did their schedule. We did their schedule. I mean, oh, okay. Sorry, rather Tampa than some crazy leg parlay. Yeah, 22-1. Butchie said it ain't going to happen. I don't know, Butchie. I think they can win it. I think they can get there. It's early, but I think they can get there. Baker made one kind of bad comment about Brady 2 years ago. He made that bad comment about Brady, but just showed like his moxie. He's not here to be the next Tom Brady. He's here to be the next him. The story's unbelievable. It's a downright movie. You know, we've made movies about other things. Someday, some way, I'm pretty confident that, I disagree, Butchie. They ain't got the heart. Baker's got the heart. That's one thing he's got. He's got the heart. And I think one day there could be a movie. We might see a movie about Baker Mayfield's career and his life as to what that guy's accomplished. Counted out, discounted. Some people love him. Some people hate him. From walk-on to Heisman Trophy to number 1 pick to a guy who can't find a team to now a quarterback of a team that in 2025, what type of heart are they showing, guys? Back-to-back weeks, game-winning touchdown drives in the 4th quarter for the Bucs to win the game. Showing heart to me. Talk about some baseball. All right, what happened last night? Let's talk about the Phillies and what the Phillies did by clinching the National League East yesterday by beating the Dodgers in 10 innings, 6-5. This is the earliest the Phillies have ever clinched their division, the NL East, in their history. They have a full 2 weeks to play before they get to the playoffs. 2 weeks. We'll see. And largely, the Phillies have been playing good baseball, but this is largely to do with the Mets and the fact that the Mets have completely fallen apart. And the Mets are on the brink of missing the postseason. If they're not careful, the Diamondbacks might wind up catching them in the next week and a half. But the Phillies clinching in LA, having a chance to party in LA. You want to talk about a team you want to fade today? The Phillies would be a team that I'd be looking to fade today, given that they've clinched the division. They're not at home. They were in Los Angeles. They can be left alone. My gut tells me those guys came home with the roosters crowing today. So they went out there and had a good old time. And I would expect a lot of guys to be either scratched or not a very good performance. And oh yeah, by the way, Ohtani's on the mound today for the Dodgers because the Dodgers are in desperate need of wins. The Dodgers only have a 2-game lead on the Padres, and the Padres play today in a very big series as well. We'll talk about their series a little bit later on. But the Padres and the Dodgers, that race coming down the pike, coming down the stretch is awesome. But, that happened again. Sorry. The issues that I think the Dodgers are going to have is just their pitching. It's just their pitching. It's why they lost last night, 6-5. Like their bullpen, their starters. But the Phillies, I don't know if the Phillies are going to care, Eron, Sean, that much about the 1 seed. They want the bye, obviously. I think everybody wants the bye. It just didn't work there. Today, though, It's an old baseball betting adage to fade a team the night after they clinch. It's just an old thing. It's not a surefire automatic. It doesn't win every time. It just wins more often than not. And the Dodgers need it desperately. The Dodgers need tonight a lot more than the Phillies do. The Phillies know that they're in. The Dodgers are going to be in, but the Dodgers want the division. And they've got to worry about a whole different type of playoff scenario if they don't win their division. So they'll be on the road, and give me the Dodgers. Dodgers tonight, but we'll do that in just the picks coming up in a little bit. To the American League, where the Mariners have won 9 games in a row, and they are now back in first place of the AL West. Let's look at this division, because this is wild. So Seattle is 82-68. Astros are 82-69. 1 game in hand for Seattle, half a game lead in the division. One of these teams will be most likely a wild card team. It's not guaranteed because, well, the Rangers are charging up from behind. They're 3 games back. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the Cleveland Guardians have won 9 games in a row, and they are right there as well. So most likely both the Mariners and the Astros are in. The left-hand side of your screen, that is the Mariners schedule. The right-hand side of your screen, that's the Astros schedule. You tell me, who would you rather be? Because the Mariners play the Royals, sorry, JC from KC, the Astros head-to-head, obviously massive series there, and then Colorado. If the Dodgers have already clinched, well, playing the Dodgers at home if you're a Seattle probably isn't going to be that big of a deal. On the other side, the A's and the Angels, those teams have been out of it forever. The Astros may have a chance here to win their final 6 games on the road in Sacramento and on the road to Los Angeles. They go 6-0 in those games. It's going to put a lot of pressure on the Mariners. I mean, this is scoreboard watching time between these two teams. We'll be 12 in a row after Thursday's game. It's possible. So you're telling me the Royals have quit? Royals are done? They're 1-2-3 Cancun? They're looking forward to the offseason? I don't think that's wrong. I don't think that's crazy, given where they were and now where they are, 75-75, but they have lost 3 of 4. They did win their last game, beating the Phillies, but this series against the Mariners, big series for Seattle, not so much for Kansas City. So, yeah, that's potential that you could see that. Yeah, they have, yeah, have to win out to have a chance. Yeah, so you guys you're out of it. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing teams, get crossed off in terms of their, being eliminated. The Twins, the White Sox, the Angels have all been eliminated. The Athletics will be coming up next. Then Tampa, Royals, and after that, we're just running up to teams a 0.1% chance of making the playoffs for the Royals. The Rays have a negative, less than a 0.1% chance of making the postseason. So my bet's going to cash on Tampa to miss the postseason at plus 168. I had a pretty good thought that was going to happen. Remember, at the break, they were in a playoff position, but this second half was such a difficult second half. The travel was so bad. I mean, just so bad for the Tampa Bay Rays that you almost have to feel bad for them, given what they were looking like, what they were playing, the travel that they had, playing in a AAA ballpark in Tampa, in somebody else's AAA ballpark on top of that with the Yankees. So things didn't go well in the second half for the Tampa Bay Rays, and they wound up 5 games under 500 so far on the road and 1 game over 500 at home. Now, if you are somebody with a ticket, this is what's really important. If you bet a season win total, if you bet a make the playoffs to miss the playoffs, if you bet a division, you have to start gaming it out a bit and looking at each team's schedule like I just did here. Like, go ahead and pull it up and look at the schedule. So, like, if you have a ticket on the Astros to win the division, you should come back and see, okay, what's the price on the Mariners? The Mariners are really big favorites. If you want to know what the books think, which I'm somewhat surprised at, to be honest, the books believe that Seattle's going to win the division. They're minus 190. At least FanDuel's got it at minus 190. And Houston has it at plus 150. So if you're someone with a ticket for Seattle to win the division, you, depending on the price you got, you could take Houston at plus 150 and guarantee yourself profit on this. So for me, I have win total bets that I'm watching closely. So I am on the over for the Cardinals. Now, all of a sudden, the Cardinals have fallen apart. They've just completely fallen apart. I need them to win 76 games. So I need the Cardinals to win 3 more baseball games. I know that might be like, oh, of course that's going to happen, Matt. Well, they've only won 3 of their last 10, and the Cardinals' schedule is not easy. The Cardinals, who are pretty much out of it, the Cardinals are playing 2 more games against the Reds, who are 2 games out of a playoff spot. So the Reds need it as much as the Cardinals need it. Then they're at home against Milwaukee, a team they just lost 2 of 3 to, and arguably the best team in baseball. At San Francisco and at Chicago to end the year. Now, there's a good shot that the Cubs won't need that the Cubs will have wrapped up a playoff spot. So I won't have to sweat that out too much. But Cubs-Cardinals is a rivalry, and you know the Cubs want to knock out the Cardinals and just beat them anyway, just for the hell of it. So there's that. So my Cardinals bet is sweaty. And then the real one that I'm sweating, because the Rockies one already cashed. So I'm already going on the Rockies under 59.5 wins for the Rockies. I've already got that. So that one's in the bag. What do we do with the Rangers? So the Rangers have 79 wins and they've played 151 games. I need the Rangers to win 86 games. So I need 7 more wins in the next 11 games for the Rangers. 7-4 is possible. It's possible for the Rangers, but I need them to go 7-4 or better down the stretch to get there. They play Houston tonight. They lost 6-3 last night. They play the Astros on Wednesday. They go home for Miami and Minnesota. I'm probably going to need 1 game against Houston and then 5 of 6 up against Miami and Minnesota. And then they end the year at Cleveland, and I'm going to need 1 win of the final 3. It might come down to a hook. And if that happens, if you have these tickets, you have to go, all right, let's say you bet $100 on a team to go over their win total and say the price was minus 110. So you bet 110 to win 100. You have to start to consider hedging on the last day. If you're on the number, like the Rangers might very well have 85 wins going into the last day of the regular season. You have to bet the other side. Like you have to bet the other side. So, you know, yeah, the Cards got Arenado back. Yeah, they did give the game away, but maybe they have offense. Look, the Cardinals, I've had the Cardinals in the win column for a while. Like I looked at it 2 days ago and I was like, hold on a second. So that Cardinals bet is not guaranteed to cash. So you guys are putting in the chat. I love it. Jimmy Football is sweating the Nats getting to 70 wins. Okay, yeah. Tell me what futures you guys have. Let's talk about them. I'd love to see what tickets you guys have. What are you sweating out? So the Nationals to get to 70 wins, they need 8 more wins. So the Nats are 62-88. Their remaining schedule is against Atlanta. They're playing right now. No score in the top of the second, but the Atlanta Braves are threatening. Then they play at the Mets, at the Braves, and then home for the White Sox. Can you get 8 more wins? I don't know. I think that's dead. That's hard. That's going to be hard. Vinny's got 71.5 for the A's for Sacramento. Can you get more? Let's see. Sacramento currently 70-80. So you need 71? Oh, Vinny, you're there. What are you worried about? The A's will get you there. You need 2 wins. Just on general semantics, you're going to get 2 wins. Now, I don't think you beat the Red Sox tonight because you're throwing a lefty against Boston, but maybe you get 1 game against the Red Sox, and then you get, you play the Pirates on the road for 3. You can win easily 1 or 2 games there. And then the Houston Astros at home and the Royals at home to end the year. I like the A's. Yeah, Vinny, you'll cash that ticket. I like that. You'll cash that. So that's not, look, if you got 11 games left and you got 1 or 2 wins you need? No, they're not going to lose out. Come on, Ish. Baseball, you don't lose 11 games in a row in baseball. It's just the nature of the beast when it comes to it. It doesn't happen. Is Bregman or whatever his name is, the hitter for Boston, going to hit over 33 home runs? Is Alex Bregman going to hit over 33 home runs? Let's see. Doesn't he have 25? Let me see for Bregman, for home runs for Alex Bregman. He currently has Bregman has 17. No, he's not hitting 33 home runs. No, that's not happening. Sorry if you made that bet. I think we talked about it right? I thought he was going to get over 33 home runs. I think I told you guys to bet that. I didn't bet it, but I think I told you guys to bet that. That's not happening. Bregman's not going to hit that many home runs. He has 17. He missed a bunch of games. That's part of the problem. He may have gotten there if he didn't miss as many games as he missed. Bregman only played in 104 games so far, so the injuries obviously stacked up quite heavily for Alex Bregman on that. Let's see, you guys, Padres to win their division. Well, Seth, I hope you have a good price on that, because let me look at that really quick. Let me see. Let me pull up FanDuel real fast and see what the division price is for the Dodgers, because Santana lost his job. Because Santana, you were supposed to be doing this every day for us. Dodgers are yikes. They're minus 750 to win the division, and they're only have a 2-game lead. That's crazy. You have 900. That's great. I like that a lot. That's a good price. It's basically the same price as right now. Oh no, it's 550 now. Wow, I thought it'd be more than that. Padres plus 550. Dodgers minus 750. The Dodgers have a 2-game lead. They have a 2-game lead. And they're minus 750 to win the division. If you haven't bet that, that's not a bad bet to the Padres to win the division now. It's 5.5 to 1. It's pretty good. 5.5 to 1 to win the division the Padres. Let me look at the Padres schedule. So this is a fun part of the year. You can start poking around on the schedules for all these teams as to what they're looking like. The Padres have the Mets starting tonight on the road, like I mentioned before. That's good. The Mets have stunk for the last month, so that's a good matchup. 3 games there. Then the White Sox on the road, they stink. And then the Brewers, but the Brewers, you're not going to worry about the Brewers. At that point in time, the Brewers are getting ready for the playoffs, so that could be a good stretch. And then Arizona is interesting because they may need those games. So that series might be difficult because Arizona right now, from a wild card standpoint, they're currently a 1.5 games behind the Mets. So they might need it. So that last series for the Padres and the Diamondbacks, that's not great if you're holding a Padres ticket, because the Padres know they're in. It's just a matter of whether or not they can win the division. They have a 5-game lead on the Mets at the moment. So they're going to be and the Cubs have a 4-game lead on the Padres for the number 1 wild card spot. So we pretty much know the wild card is Cubs, Padres, and then we go from there. The Red Sox are 1 game back of the Yankees for the wild card, for the number 1 wild card. It's crazy though. Yankees, Red Sox, Astros. The Yankees are 83-67. Boston's 82-68. And the Astros are 82-69. And then Cleveland and Texas come in with 78 and 79 wins respectively. So there's a little bit of a difference, a little bit of a dip there after the top 3 teams in the American League. But the Reds are only 2 games behind the Mets. The Giants are only 2 games behind. The Cardinals are still technically, mathematically alive, but they've lost, as I said, 3 out of 10. Or sorry, only won 3 out of 10. Who's winning the American League? Seth, that's a great question. Because right now the odds-on favorite is still the Blue Jays, who I do not think will win the AL. The Tigers are the second option at plus 360. And if Skubal is even a little bit hurt, you can kiss that goodbye. The Yankees are feast or famine. I still like my Astros ticket. I have a 10 to 1 on the Astros to win the World Series. They're 7.5 to 1 to win the American League. And to win the World Series, the Astros are 17 to 1. So you get even a better ticket now on the Astros 17 to 1. But I like the Astros. Now, the problem is Alvarez is getting an MRI today. So that's not good. If you know, if Yordan Alvarez is not available, MRI on his left ankle today after he sprained it while crossing home plate, it did not look good according to his manager. So that's the problem. If he's out, I mean, it's a sprained ankle, so let's see how long, but he was on crutches with a boot on his foot yesterday. So, like, that stinks. They need him healthy for the playoffs. And if he is back, great. If he's out, whole different story when it comes to the Astros. I don't think they can win the American League without it. Look, the Red Sox have an injury, a huge one in Roman Anthony. I think that creates a huge problem for them. Astros could have a huge injury, huge problem for them. This could be the Blue Jays' year. Like, it just could be everything coming up Toronto. If you're a Blue Jays fan, if not now, when? Like, if not now, if you can't win it when there's a down year in the American League and there's no super team in the American League, when else are you going to win the division? When else are you going to win the American League? When else are you going to win the World Series? So I'm very curious to see how the playoffs go ahead and play out. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Another Tom Brady controversy. This one isn't even a controversy to me. This one is really stupid. So Jim Irsay's daughter, who is now the owner of the Colts, has been on the sidelines for weeks 1 and week 2 with a headset on, listening to the calls, evaluating the way the coaching staff is operating, evaluating Shane Steichen and the entire staff to learn about the organization that she now owns. How should it be run? Tom Brady last night was in the booth, in the coach's booth for the Raiders with a headset on and a microphone there. We don't know if Tom is interjecting or Tom is being asked questions, but Pete Carroll after the game said that he talks to Tom Brady 2 or 3 times a week. Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, he told the broadcast team for ESPN that he also talks to Tom Brady 2 or 3 times a week. This set off alarm bells for so many people that Tom Brady is going to get an unfair advantage because of his broadcasting with Fox, that he's in these production meetings. He's going to sit down and talk to teams in the AFC West, teams that they are competing against and teams that the Raiders will face later on in the year. And that Tom Brady is going to receive some type of operational information that's going to allow the Raiders to be more competitive, and they're going to be here. And this is the refrain that everyone is saying, that Tom is cheating again. Sam, I love you, but this is so dumb it hurts. Like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Brady is cheating? Tom Brady is cheating because he owns a piece of the Raiders and he has a headset on to listen to the operation as to how the Raiders are playing football. Sure helped last night. That offense, shoot. That was greatest show on turf type stuff last night. Geno Smith was so good he couldn't figure out which guys were on his own team. It doesn't matter. This is the biggest non-story. This is just because he's Tom Brady. People want to make this into a story that, oh my God, broadcaster Brady, this is wrong. This is inappropriate. This should not be allowed. Brady's an owner. He's going to get all, I mean, like, this is still football, right? This is still a sport, right? We're so over the top on this stuff. Like, Brady was there to announce he's playing football in Saudi Arabia with Pete Carroll as the coach and a bunch of ex-players running around playing flag football. Like, that's the real controversy. What the hell is that? That's just stupid. Like, what are we doing? How much money is being paid? I just think this idea that Tom Brady is getting information that he's going to pass along to Chip Kelly and to Pete Carroll, and somehow that's going to decide a football game in the NFL, and the Patriots are going to, that the Brady-led Raiders are going to be, held to the same type of scrutiny that the Patriots were. Because, right, the Patriots only won 6 championships because they cheated, right? Like you really believe that? You honestly believe that the Patriots won 6 championships, played in 9 Super Bowls because they cheated every time, every year, every game. Like that's how you're going to run this. You're going to run this with something as stupid as Spygate, which was completely legal to do, except you weren't allowed to tape it. That's it. Like, you want to play out Spygate again. I'll litigate it till the cows come home. It was legal to have a guy in a booth with binoculars watching the other sidelines and writing down all the calls. That was legal. You just couldn't put it on videotape. Think how stupid that is. Like all the Patriots did was just up the ante. Instead of having a spy, they put the spy on tape. That was Spygate. That caused all the controversy. Tom Brady smashed his cell phone. Why? Who knows what the hell was on that cell phone? Would you, if you're Tom Brady and you run with the people that you run with, he was about to go through a whole lot of crap and was going through a whole lot of crap with his ex-wife. So maybe he doesn't want his ex-wife to have access if it goes in the public record. Maybe he doesn't want his ex-wife to be, scrolling through his text messages or going through the pictures and letting the NFL office go through his personal life. So smashing a cell phone, I don't blame him. Secondly, if you don't know what the ideal gas law is, look it up, because Deflategate was a joke. If you didn't read the Wells report, you should, because I did. It's a joke. That whole thing is a complete and total joke. I don't know why the NFL destroyed it, Sam, and I don't care, because that's not a problem for the Patriots, okay? That whole thing has got nothing to do with the Patriots, and whatever dumb thing Roger Goodell wanted to do, go ask Roger Goodell, because it's got nothing to do with the Patriots. Spygate was a nothing burger. Deflategate was even less. People just had a lot of things going on. They didn't film, practice through, walk through. Stop saying shit that's not true. That's not true. Okay? Stop reporting or trying to say things. Do research. If you're going to say shit, do research. It didn't happen. Okay? That was a retracted story from the Boston Herald. It did not happen. I don't care what Marshall Falk says. I don't care what anyone from the Rams say. There is no evidence of it. It never happened. Okay? It never happened. They never taped the Rams walkthrough. So I don't care that the Rams are butthurt because they got their butts beaten in by the Patriots and embarrassed as 14-point favorites in the Super Bowl because they walked into that game and they thought they already won the game. They thought it was over. And then they got smacked in the mouth, and Rodney Harrison and the rest of the Patriot defense beat them up for 4 quarters. And they lost. And they couldn't believe they lost. They couldn't believe it happened. They were so stunned. And so, of course, they've got to run around and say, oh, we didn't lose. We didn't get beat. They changed the damn rules of the NFL after that because the Patriots DBs beat up the rest of the wide receivers and running backs for the Rams. Now they made it more offensive friendly because the Patriots took advantage of the rules. That's what they always did. They took advantage. Now, did they push the rules too far? Sure. Should they have taped? No. The rules stated they shouldn't have done it, but they did it. So this idea that Tom Brady shouldn't be allowed to have a headset on with a team he partially owns, and all of a sudden it's setting the world on fire and everyone is freaking out over this like, oh my God, this is so wrong. It's hysterical because I'm obviously living in Las Vegas, close to the Raiders. I do stuff with the Raiders podcast. Like I watch this team closely. This team is not that good. Like you saw it last night. Geno Smith threw a pick on the first play of the game. The Raiders offense looked abysmal last night. Awful. Brock Bowers is hurt. It's clear. His knee's banged up. He can't move. They couldn't run the ball. Ashton Genty let his quarterback go look up the replays on Ashton Genty's pass pro on blitzes from the Chargers. He made some really interesting business decisions last night about whether or not he was going to step up and take a block on. And Geno Smith got wrecked last night. Got wrecked. It was ugly. The Brady-led Raiders are not going to gain anything from Tom Brady wearing a headset. Now, maybe he might learn some stuff in the meetings, but they've pretty much policed that. Like last year, he couldn't be in there. This year, he can kind of be in there. He's broadcasting football games. This is not state secrets, okay? We're not talking about troop movements in different parts of the world, okay? We're not talking about drone footage. We're not talking about trying to, find out where someone's nuclear submarines are hidden. Like, it's just not what we're doing. It's football. Relax. Like, seriously, relax. It's absolutely bonkers how people are freaking out over this with Tom Brady. And I mean, ESPN, whoever put that picture up, I mean, brilliant. Just absolute brilliant. Because Brady looks like he's some evil mastermind signaling plays, which again worked so well last night that the Raiders scored a grand total of 9 points. It's mass conspiracy going on with the Raiders to take over the NFL, and they scored 9 points. And Geno Smith threw a pick on his first pass play of the game. Threw 2 others, including one in the end zone that I could not believe he threw. Couldn't believe he threw it. Game was hinging, kind of. Chance to get back into it. He throws into double coverage in the back of the end zone. Receiver was never open. Threw a jump ball while he was on the run into double coverage again when he thought he had a receiver downfield, and he threw it like he was playing 500 and just here we go, jump ball. I don't know what game Geno Smith was playing last night, but he played a good one in week 1. He sucked last night for the Raiders. So while Brady is, Mr. Headset and telling everybody what's going on, team sure as heck wasn't performing well and looked really bad. And I would have loved to have talked to Brady after the game and heard an honest assessment of Geno Smith, because my guess is the greatest quarterback of all time would have a lot to say about the way that Geno Smith played quarterback last night, because it was ugly, and it was a home opener in Vegas. All that momentum, all that excitement that had been built around the win over the Patriots, gone. Just absolutely 100% gone with that performance. And Jim Harbaugh, to his credit, is now 14-5-1 ATS as the coach of the Chargers. And he's got Justin Herbert playing at a really high level. They've got Keenan Allen back. They look great. They can run the ball with Hampton. They lost Khalil Mack last night. That stinks. That elbow injury, I don't think that's going to come back well. His arm was flopping around really not in good ways. So I think they lost him, which is not great. We'll see how long he's going to be out for. But they got a very good defense still. They got some really good guys. Chargers to win the division. Look, here's the thing. If you think that, you have to bet that right now. Because if the Chargers beat the Broncos this weekend, the Chargers are going to be 3-0 on the season and 3-0 in the division. I mean, this game against Denver is massive. Massive. Because I don't believe the Chiefs are going to lose to the Giants. Okay. I think the Chiefs are going to win and cover. It's 5-6, depending on what book you're looking at. But I like the Chiefs to win big over the Giants, because I think the Giants stink. And I think the defense for Kansas City, I don't think Russ scores more than 17 points coming up. And I do expect the Chiefs to have a pretty good day. Offensively. They have to. How about that? They have to, given their first 2 losses. So I think the Chiefs will win. But the Chargers have a huge chance at home against Denver to win this game and to go Chiefs, Raiders, Broncos, win. Then they play the Giants on the road. That should be a win. Now we're 4-0. The Commanders, is Jaden Daniels playing? That game's at home. They should win that game. They're 5-0. They go to the Dolphins. The Dolphins stink. We know this. Mike McDaniel might be gone soon. Could be 6-0. They come back home for the Colts. Now, do you buy the Shane Steichen magic, or do you think it's all smoke and mirrors? But Shane Steichen in the months of September, October, November, very good. Daniel Jones has been bonkers. Back-to-back games, 300 yards passing, and this past one was awesome against the Dolphins. That offense with Danny Dimes has been unbelievable. Unbelievable. So the Chargers, if you think the Chargers can win the division, you have to bet it now. Because at the moment, let's see where FanDuel has that division price. That price is currently plus 105 for the Chargers to win the division. If they beat the Broncos, that number's gone. That goes to minus 200. Like, gone. See you later. Because if the Chiefs lose to the Giants, don't think it's going to happen, but if the Chiefs lose to the Giants, it's a 3-game lead and it's sayonara. Bye-bye. Gone. Because the Raiders aren't going to be in the conversation. The Broncos, that loss, I mean, my God, I lost a survivor pick on that in one of my survivor contests on that. I cannot believe that they called leverage in that moment. That was crazy. Like, that leverage call, it might just be the Colts' year in some ways, because that was a ridiculous 15-yard penalty. That 60-yard kick was woefully right. Missed it badly. And then 15-yard penalty, chip shot field goal, Colts win the game. I mean, that was a rabbit's foot type of victory for Indianapolis. The Broncos should have won that game. So that's tough. So the Broncos being 1-1, they could be 1-2. Broncos could be 1-2 after this week, and the Chargers 3-0. The Chiefs 1-2, and the Chargers at 3-0 in the division, having a really good start to the year. So if you do like them to win the division, bet it now. So do I like them? Yes, I do like them to win the division. Yes. I didn't bet the Broncos. I bet the Broncos over 9.5 wins. I didn't bet them to win the division, but I do still like the Broncos to win 10 games, but that was a game I thought that they would have won. They should be 2-0. And let's just be honest. That's just a really bad break. A flag to decide the game. You never like seeing crap like that, but here we are. Okay, real quickly on a couple of college football games, look ahead to week 4. There are 3 games in college football this weekend, ranked on ranked. Texas Tech is taking on Utah. Utah's laying 3.5 here at the start. This is where Fox is going for their big noon kickoff. Utah at home is a really hard place to play, and I believe this Utes team is back. They're going to fix, and they have fixed a bunch of their problems that happened last year where they simply just could not stop anybody. It's an early kick in Utah. Texas Tech folks, 3-0 versus 3-0. Dampier's been a really productive quarterback. He's got 7 touchdowns already for Utah. Utah has been scoring at will. They whipped up on UCLA 43-10. They played was it Cal Poly? Yeah, they played Cal Poly and dropped 63 on them. They beat Wyoming on the road 31-6. They whipped up on them in their last game. So all of a sudden, we know that Utah plays great defense. They have forever. It's their offense. It's been really impressive so far here for Utah, and on a neutral field, going ahead and just putting up some big numbers here, beating Wyoming 31-6. It's the first meeting between these two teams since 2010, and they beat them 31-6. So I like Utah here early. Texas Tech has been good, but maybe a little bit overrated here. They spent a ton of money in the NIL world. Let's see if they can go on the road to Salt Lake City to beat Utah. I'm going to say no, but I wish that was a night game. I do wish that was a night game. Would be better. Illinois at Indiana. Indiana just won over Indiana State 73-0. For no other reason than that, I am 100% pulling for Illinois. I am pulling for the Illini to go to Indiana, to go as 4.5-point dogs to beat the Hoosiers, because there is absolutely no reason to beat a school 73-0. There is absolutely no reason to beat a team by that margin. I don't care who you are. I don't care what game you're playing. That was insulting. Like, you don't need to embarrass other kids like that. There's no need to have your starters in the game in the third quarter. I don't understand it all. It just didn't make any sense to me. And so for that reason, and that reason alone, I'm pulling for Illinois to beat Indiana. Catching 4.5 points, taking the 4.5 points here on that. Just ridiculous. I hope so. Okay. I hope Illinois does expose Indiana. I really do. It is personal. It is personal. I hate that. 73-0. 73-0 in college football. What are you doing? Unnecessary. Completely and totally unnecessary. You're paying them already to come and play you. And now you're going to beat them 73-0 when your schedule sucks already. So what, you got to come some like big, huge like score to be like, oh, look at what we did to this FCS school. Yeah, we killed them. Big man, Indiana. Yeah, you big tough guy. You bought out of every tough game you have for the next decade, but you're beating someone 73-0. Go Illinois. Give me the Illini for that game. And then finally, Auburn on the road against Oklahoma. I'm surprised this number is only 6.5, to be quite honest. I'm stunned. I thought the number would be more than that. I'm not that high on Auburn. I need to watch a bit more of Auburn this week before I make a definitive decision here on this. But, I mean, Arnold's been okay. Okay. They beat Baylor 38-24. That was impressive. That was they ran the ball right down Baylor's throat. They beat Ball State 42-3, and they beat South Alabama 31-15. Oklahoma crushed Temple last weekend in Philadelphia 42-3. That stunned me. I wasn't ready for that, but John Mateer has been tremendous. The Michigan win was huge. Both teams have beaten a Power 5 team, Power 4 team. The winner of Michigan was pretty impressive, though. I thought the defense for Oklahoma played their butts off. I think that's going to be the difference in this game. I think at the moment I would lean towards the under in this game, but you got to wait and see where that number settles down at. And it's 48.5 at the moment. I think it's a little on the high side, just given both these defenses. So I think I probably would lean towards the under in this, but I do like Oklahoma to win the game, and most likely Oklahoma to cover that number of 6.5. Let's do some picks quick before we let go of our friends at Sports Grid. All right, time for just the picks. You've got a WNBA Game 2 tonight in Seattle between the Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm. Vegas won the first game in whopping fashion, destroyed at home. This is in Seattle. Vegas is 7-2-1 ATS over their last 10 games. But the real stat is that Vegas has won 17 consecutive WNBA games. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Previously, in WNBA history, there have been 4 teams that have won 15 or more consecutive games during one season. All 4 of those teams have gone on to win the WNBA championship. The Vegas Aces are going to dispatch of Seattle tonight. They'll win the game and they'll cover because Becky Hammons and company and Asia Wilson and company, they have decided that whatever problems they were having in the early part of the year are completely gone. And that they're going to house everyone that gets in their way. 17 up, 17 down. I think they win tonight. They move on to the semifinals, the best of 5. I think the Aces, delaying 5 points. Aces to score over 82.5 is a good look, too. Yeah, I like that. They scored 100 some odd points. It was at home, but they scored 100 some odd points. And I guess Seattle is going to play a lot less, but that's a talent mismatch tonight between Vegas and Seattle. Give me the Aces. Aces -5. Red Sox tonight. They got this rookie early going. He pitched against the A's in Sacramento. He went 5 innings, 11 Ks, tied a record for a debut for a Red Sox pitcher. Run line, Red Sox. They beat him 6-0. In the last time, Red Sox mashed lefties. They've got one of the best batting averages on base percentage, and they lead Major League Baseball in RBIs up against left-handed pitching. They have most of the entire season. I like Boston to go and beat up on the A's tonight in a game that they absolutely have to have, given what the Astros are looking like against the Rangers, trying to catch the Yankees. Big win for the Red Sox here on out. I think they get it. They get it on the run line. Lefties at Fenway Park can get hit pretty hard. Red Sox on the run line. And then I told you about it earlier. Dodgers money line. I got -120. It's now up to -135 or 140. But I still think it's value. Anything under 150, I think there's value there on taking the Dodgers against the Phillies. Like I told you, I do believe that this Phillies team is going to be hung over after the celebration from last night, clinching 2 weeks before the playoffs, the earliest the Phillies have ever clinched. And this Dodger team needs it. The Padres are playing the Mets. The Dodgers need it. They got a 2-game lead. So if the Padres win tonight, Dodgers need to win. Got to keep the Padres at bay here. We're coming down the pike. I like Dodgers money line to win tonight. Ohtani is on the mound. If I told you at some point during the year with Ohtani pitching, you would get, -120, you would have gone, what? So great price on the Dodgers here tonight. I'm taking the Dodgers. Prop bet of the day is the following. I'm kind of talking on both sides of my mouth a little bit on this because while I think the Dodgers win the game and their bullpen is somewhat of a mess, I think Ohtani doesn't go very long. This has only happened one time this year where Ohtani has had 15 outs in a single game. I like Ohtani to go under 14 and a half outs. Basically, he's going to go 4 innings or maybe into the 5th, but he's not going to get through the 5th. And the reason just is because they haven't allowed him to. Like, they just haven't allowed him to. So, like, this is keeping him healthy, keeping him good to go. Last time out against Baltimore, 11 outs. Against Cincinnati, he had 15. But every other game besides the 27th of August, Shohei Ohtani has gotten less than 15 outs. Under 14 and a half outs is only minus 115. Taking Shohei Ohtani under 15 and a half outs. 14 and a half outs, under 14 and a half outs at minus 115. If you guys are watching on the replay on Sports Grid Television, thank you. Excuse me. Appreciate you guys being here. If you're live on Instagram or Twitter or streaming on Instagram or YouTube, that's the other one. YouTube. That's what I was thinking of. If you're watching on one of those 3 platforms, don't move. You guys are getting bonus time, which starts right now. For the rest of you guys, back tomorrow, same place, same time on Sports Grid. Bonus time. What's minus 104? That price on under 14 and a half outs? Beautiful. That's great. Take that. Under 14 and a half outs. People must think this is the time that Shohei is going to go deep. Maybe. I mean, he could because they need it. So you may look to lean on the guy. But when have they ever done that? That's not what they do. Under 14 and a half. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Minus 104. Take it, DK, bro. I like that price a lot. That's better. I got 115. That's obviously a better price. This story is from a couple of days ago, but I missed it. And I want to just bring it up because I think it's a pretty fascinating story involving FanDuel and the NFL. That is part of our news of the industry. For news of the industry, this is one of those stories that you're like, oh, interesting. So FanDuel has agreed to pay the Jaguars $5 million over the betting scandal in which the former Jacksonville Jaguar employee embezzled over $22 million to go and play fantasy sports. The report that came out from ESPN over the weekend, or I guess late last week, is that the NFL, quote, encouraged FanDuel to come to an agreement. FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of the league and is partnered with 7 teams in the NFL, but not the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jaguars had previously asked FanDuel to reimburse it for all of the money stolen by their former employee, who over the course of 3.5 years stole $22 million and then went and bet on that money. The former employee, Amit Patel, in August told CNN that he had, quote, illegally borrowed the money from the Jaguars. That sentence is awesome. Illegally borrowed. If you illegally borrow, that's called stealing. Because if you're going to borrow it, that would imply you're going to give it back, that you're going to return that. So there is no illegally borrowing money from the Jaguars. That's called stealing. And he's currently serving a 6.5-year sentence in federal prison after pleading guilty in 2023 to federal charges of wire fraud and illegal monetary transactions, aka stealing. He was sentenced in March of 24, but in July, Patel was moved to Florida's Duval County Jail after the state added 6 counts of state grand theft, which could add up to 30 years to his sentence. In his role with the Jaguars, as InGame.com wrote, Patel oversaw the team's virtual credit card program. He moved money from the program into his personal and gambling accounts with FanDuel and other platforms. Besides spending money on placing bets, it was revealed in court documents that he spent money on travel, private jets, sports memorabilia, and more. There's now multiple court cases in addition to the original case against Patel. The Jaguars early last year sued Patel for $66.6 million, which is an interesting number considering 666 is the number of the devil. So they did it for $66.6 million in damages in Florida state court. In October of 24, Platel turned around and countersued FanDuel, claiming that the company preyed on his gambling addiction and that FanDuel employees knew he worked for an NFL team and he should have been on an exclusive list. I love this. It's their fault, not mine. It's their fault, not mine. Hey, you guys should know that I'm not allowed to do this. It's not my fault. You guys, you should have known better than to let me do the illegal thing that I was trying to do. This country's amazing sometimes, man. It really is. The lack of personal accountability is incredible. The lack of personal accountability in America sometimes is absolutely remarkable. Not my fault. In the lawsuit, Patel's lawyers argued that the defendants knew and or took intentional steps to avoid knowing. How do you take an intentional step to avoid knowing? Do you like put your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la? I don't know where you are or what you do. The money gambled by the plaintiff was stolen or otherwise not from a legitimate source. The lawyer also wrote that FanDuel gave Platel, quote, well over $1 million in FanDuel credits and lavish gifts. Well, no shit, Sherlock. The guy lost, what, $30 million. Illegal borrowing is the most lawyer thing I've heard all week. Yeah, I would agree. That's a tremendous word. I just illegally borrowed it. That's all I did. I illegally borrowed that money. Truly a crazy story. Like truly one of those. But I wonder if $5 million for FanDuel that's nothing. Like who gives whatever. It's $5 million. FanDuel doesn't give a shit. It doesn't impact their bottom line at all. But I just wonder how the call went from the NFL. Like, come on, man. Can you just do a favor? Can you just give them $5 million? Like, can you just pay the Jaguars something? They're trying to save face. Like they're pissed off. They got robbed. And then they went to you guys and this guy bet all this money and you guys just kind of siphoned it straight off the Jaguars. It was $22 million. You guys knew that guy couldn't be worth $22 million because you're supposed to do your KYC, know your customer. This guy is making $100,000 a year. There's no way this guy can afford to gamble $22 million with you guys. You knew what he was doing and you just chose. Can you please just give them something? Like give them $5 million, please. Fine. We'll give you $5 million. Here's the check. Go away. Can we not talk about this anymore? Oh, it's too much. It's too much. One of the craziest. That is still one of the craziest stories. Illegally borrowing things. We're all illegally borrowing things, huh? Sure. Time for my favorite thing about my favorite thing about today, I was going to put the picture up on the screen, but I didn't want to gross everybody out. I got all of the stuff, the dressing, the wrapping, everything of my wound is gone now from my incision. So now I have 3 more nights of wearing this thing at night, and then I can stop wearing the immobilizer at night. And I can just wear the immobilizer during the day, which I am so excited about. So I got a good, clean bill of health yesterday from the doctor. I am going to hopefully in the next couple of days have my schedule for physical therapy. They've told me that I still need to be in the sling, but how much? And the physical therapist can kind of talk about it because there's some things you can't do when you have a sling on. So we're trying to work through all of that to enable me to kind of get back to my life. But the good news is I've been cleared to fly. So I will be back in Vegas come Monday. So BVB will return back in Las Vegas, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern time. I'm keeping the same schedule, but I am going to be able to fly back to Vegas on Saturday to be there for Monday's show. So we'll do tomorrow. It is a Bet Chris Wednesday. We got Adam Bjorn from Bet Chris Arizona coming on the show tomorrow to break down college and pro games for the week. So looking forward to that conversation with Adam tomorrow. He'll join us. Then Thursday, we'll get obviously heavily involved with the games on Thursday night for Thursday Night Football. Friday is a Fight Song Friday. Remember, if you want me to play a fight song, please give me a couple of days ahead of time. And then with that, and then Saturday, I get on a plane and I fly back to Las Vegas. note, cleared to fly as a passenger. Matt, your doctor said want you back as a pilot. Yes, that's true. I've not been cleared to fly. I've been cleared to be in a passenger jet. But we're trying to figure out, like, how do right now I have an aisle seat. So we're trying to figure the whole thing out. Like, where do I want to sit? How do I want to sit? Will the airline move me into is there like a handicap space that they can put me in? So like, we're trying to figure that all out at the moment for the flight on Saturday, because I can't be like, sardined in, because it could be really painful. And it's a 5.5 hour flight. It's unfortunately it's the long flight back. Okay, Ish, we'll do the Illinois. I'll do that. I'll get that for you. Yeah, I'm with you. Illinois fight song to screw ISU. Yes, I'm a Sycamore fan. I like the Sycamores. Good people with the Sycamores with Indiana State. I didn't like that but we'll do the Illinois fight song to go ahead and whip up on Indiana. Didn't like what Indiana did. So Illinois fight song. We'll add that to the repertoire for a fight song Friday. But I hope that, I have had very minimal pain. The beautiful thing about and why I came here to go and work with a specialist, I found out yesterday, by the way, they did not tell me what they used. I don't know how this makes me feel, but like the tendon that they used to fix my pectoral tear, major pectoral tear, it's called. I have 3 Achilles tendons now. They took a cadaver Achilles tendon and it's in my chest. That's how they fixed me, which I was like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, we use an Achilles tendon to fix you. So just FYI, I was like, that's crazy. Like medicine is wild that I have a cadaver Achilles tendon surgery fixed, what they did to reattach it to my chest, to my bone. And I have 3 little like buttons that they put onto my arm, and that's how it's attached. So he like drilled onto the bone and he stuck these like button things on my arm, and then he took the pectoral muscle, attached the Achilles tendon, and then stretched it over and stuck it to the buttons. But the way that it was stretched over, what that connecting piece is an Achilles tendon. Which I was like, what the hell? So I got quite a laugh out of that. I was like, that's different. Okay. So the running joke is when somebody asks me now, how many Achilles tendons do you have? The answer will be 3. I have 3, not 2. I have 3. So there you go. Guys, thanks for being here. Fun show today. This was fun. Tuesdays are always interesting because of college football and looking ahead to the NFL after Monday night. Wednesday, it is a Bet Chris Arizona Wednesday. Hope to see you all back here tomorrow. Adam Bjorn joins us to break down the card for Thursday, for Friday, for Saturday, and for Sunday. A lot of football talk comes at you tomorrow. Same place, same time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, right here on our YouTube channel at Boston versus the Book. Wednesday, BVB tomorrow.